Hello, everyone. It's Sal Stretford Post. How you're doing? And welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. Hope everyone's doing good. Hope everyone's doing fine. Everyone's having a fabulous morning, guys. At the end of the day, we don't want no negativity. Unless you're a Liverpool fan, you are out of the Champions League. For goodness me, wasn't it a treble? Then wasn't it a mini treble? Then what's it now? A double? Are you going for the double? Are you going for the double? That's going to be over pretty soon as well. Come on, you Magpies. It's over to Newcastle next. Absolutely. They might win the Premier League, but they're not taking away our treble, the only treble, the proper treble, 98, 99 treble, the originals. And we done it without oil money as well, you guys. Absolutely. Thank you, everyone, for joining me today. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new. And please don't forget to smash a like on the video. That'd be absolutely fantastic. I'm over the moon. They're out. You know what I mean? I went to bed. I went to sleep. I thought, you know what? Let me wake up. You know, because I thought, you know what? Liverpool probably get through. Honestly, I'll be honest with you. Like, guys, I hold my head up. I think they're probably going to get through Anfield and all that. I saw it and I thought, oh, my goodness me. 1-0. What's it? 1-0. They lost 1-0 and lost on penalties. Wow. So much for the old Anfield Roar. So much for that, isn't it, at the end of the day? So much for Arne Slot, the genius, the guy who just needed to press the on button when he walked through the door. Anyone could have, like, what Jurgen Klopp left Arne Slot? Absolutely nothing. He didn't need to do anything. He just needed to go in there and press play. That's all he needed to do. But they're out of the Champions League. And seeing Jamie Carragher on the stands, standing there, red face and all, you know, disappointed, sad, almost in tears. I think it was a sight to behold. You know what? It's been a very stressful week for Man United. We've had a lot of things going on. You know what I mean? Ups and downs, you know what I mean? Spins and, you know, disappointments and stuff like that. But you know what? It's always a pleasure, isn't it? When we see something like that happening, when we see Liverpool losing, you know, it is always really a pleasure, isn't it, at the end of the day? It looks like, you know what, I'm going for a Real Madrid winning the title again. I don't know about you guys. I think Real Madrid will probably do it again. I really think that, guys. I don't know about you, but I think it's either Real Madrid. But I like Barcelona. I think Barcelona are good. I don't think PSG have it quite in them to do it. I think they're a good team, but I don't think they have it quite in them to do it. I think it'll either be Bayern Munich or Real Madrid. You know, even a Barcelona very good as well. Let's get some of your comments there. Let's get Sanjay. Good morning. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing good. Fabulous morning to you, Kenny, too. Absolutely big up, Kenny. Over to Newcastle. What is it? The treble, the mini treble, and now the double. Now it's going to be the single. Absolutely. Can you imagine they blow that? Can you imagine they blow that? Can you imagine they blow the league title? Oh, my goodness me. It's not going to happen. They'll probably win the league, isn't it? But we got to treat that as an inspiration, of course. Morning, Sal. Liverpool, not that. Get in. Absolutely, Shah-Alam. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Really good to see you, of course. Ederson was bossing the midfield against Juve. Yes, he was an absolutely brilliant player, of course. And it is a guy. Ederson, guys, listen, go all the way back. Way back into time, as Blackstreet once said. What I would say is that go all the way back to the summer when I was doing these streams, and I broke the Ederson. I broke the Ederson. It was a me. It was a me again. And I broke it in then, and I said Manchester United are interested in Ederson. He's one of their main priorities. He will remain on their transfer wish list, and there are many players that have been on the wish list for well over a year that Manchester United are going to be interested in. Now, Ederson. Manchester United have inquired about Ederson, a 60 million fee. Manchester United are looking to sign a midfielder this summer. Ederson, of course, plays for Atalanta. Highly skilled midfield player, 25 years old. So just under the threshold of what Ineos want in regards to age and stuff like that. So Ederson is a great player, central defensive midfielder. Can Man United lure him away from Atalanta? Now, look, you know what? He is a great player. I like the player. The guy who started off at Deportivo Brasil. Absolutely, he started up and he has played for Salernitana as well. Salernitana, who I'm very close with. Of course, I know a couple of players from Salernitana. You don't know Salernitana. Absolutely. He played there. Spoken to a few people from before, from the summer, from Salernitana. A few people work at Salernitana and they say that he's Manchester United bound. Man United, can they cough up the fee for Ederson? No, that's the key. It's going to cost around 60 million euros, guys. I personally think they will. I personally think we will have a big summer. I think it will happen. I think all these lies. Look, Ineos have got money. Let me tell you something about something, right? Ineos have got money. They just don't want to tell you they got money. You know people, what they tell me. Never tell someone you got money. Never tell them you got money, because then they have less expectations of you, right? At the end of the day. And I think this is what Ineos are doing. This is what Ineos are doing. They're not telling people they actually have money. They're, at the end of the day, they're talking about going broke at Christmas and then planning a stadium. But this is what it was. This is what it was, right? Sunday, there was a protest. Glazers out, get them out, get that fraud out, get Ineos out. Monday, we're going to go broke by Christmas. We're going to be broke by Christmas. Tuesday, look at our new stadium plans. 5 years it's going to take us to build. And everyone's jumping up and down. Yeah, Ineos cooking. Ineos are cooking. Crying out loud. You guys, man. Goodness me. Like, you change like the weather. For goodness me. 1 minute Glazers out Sunday. Tuesday, oh, they're killing it. And then people are telling me, oh, don't worry. Glazers are going to sell. Glazers are going to go because they haven't said a word. Glazers are going to go because they haven't said a word. They haven't said a word. They haven't said a word because they're getting free money again. They're going to get free money. They're going to hit the jackpot again. These guys, my goodness me, for goodness sake. Oh, they should just stick to TikTok. I swear down, honest to God. It's crazy when you think about it, but it is what it is at the end of the day. I can't control what people think. But what I would say is that we come across weak and naive. Sometimes we do as a fan base. And I'm not saying all the fan base. I'm saying sections of the fan base do come across weak and naive, in my opinion. And it proves it, because at the end of the day, you know what I mean? They've totally changed their narrative from Sunday, angry, aggressive, March, to Tuesday, happy, excited. New stadium, new toy. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, unbelievable, Jeff. Unbelievable, Jeff. So, Ederson, and more importantly, Ederson is a target for Manchester United. Of course, who Ederson is a great, fantastic player. I'm a big fan of Ederson. I think he would change our midfield, significantly change our midfield. So, Ederson is a target for Manchester United. Of course, Kenny, I'm going for Atletico Madrid to win this dark horse for Champions. I wouldn't mind Kenny. I wouldn't mind Atletico Madrid. I think Atletico Madrid, they've come close a couple of times. They've been unlucky. They almost beat Real Madrid a few years ago. Of course, a last-minute goal, thanks to obviously Gareth Bale and people like that. But I wouldn't mind Atletico Madrid. I've been to Atletico, great stadium, great people around. But what I would say is that, you know, having a new stadium doesn't guarantee success. And let me tell you something, like, because what I don't want, and I don't want this. I don't want people thinking it's okay to be, you know, underachieve for 5 years until the stadium is built. I don't want people thinking that, you know what, being unsuccessful is fine because, you know what, we got a stadium coming. Because at the end of the day, a stadium doesn't guarantee success. It doesn't. A stadium doesn't guarantee success. Look at Atletico Madrid. Look at Tottenham Hotspur. Great teams around the world have built a stadium. It doesn't guarantee success. So we need to concentrate on success and stop downing tools in our mentality. They need to bring success to this football club. That is what it is, right? And that means having success on the pitch. And then everything will work itself out, of course. Celestine is going for PSG. I like Doué, by the way, Celestine. I really like that player. I think he's a great player. I was speaking about Doué last week, about Man United and stuff like that. His price tag is getting higher and higher every single week. Absolutely, every single week. And we need to move in with that deal. Honestly, Celestine, we need to move in with that deal. He's a great player. I think they have turned a corner. I hope we can build such a team. I love the team's performance. They played as a team without the ball. I think they're a really good team. I do think they're a very good team. They had a bad start to the season, PSG, but you know what? They have turned the corner, especially in the Champions League. They were low in the Champions League in the group stage, but now they've really come to their role. And as I've always said, you know what? Football, it's about a spark, isn't it? It's about a spark. Now that they've beaten Liverpool, they might get that confidence to go all the way. I just don't think they can beat Real Madrid over 2 legs. I can't see it. Or Barcelona over 2 legs. I just can't see it at the moment. But you never know in football. I really wish that someone different will win the Champions League this year. Someone who we haven't seen win the Champions League this year. I'm fed up with Real Madrid all the time and Barcelona and Bayern Munich and these things. But listen, Bayern Munich are cooking, you know. Bayern Munich are cooking, you know. But Bayern Munich are, you know what, they're not doing too badly. Let's read some. Lisa, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. It's Independence Day, Mauritius. Happy Independence Day to my Mauritian brothers and sisters. I hope you're doing well in paradise. It is beautiful, Mauritius. It is Independence Day for Mauritius. Absolutely. I need to pick up on my broken French. That's what I need to do at the end of the day. Big up, Lisa, and big up, Mauritius, of course. Big up. Shah, I hope that, but I don't think they will spend that much money on transfers. As Omar said yesterday, trust me, Shah, it's lowering expectations. They will. I'm hearing big things that they're going to spend up to 200 million. That's what I'm hearing. They have a secret stash of money, in hidden. So don't worry about that. They'll spend money. Just like they said they ain't got no money to sack a manager. Where did they get the money from? And hire a new manager. They got the money. Trust me, bruv. Shah, trust me. They're going to sign some players. Is it government funds, or where is the money coming from Man United State? Is it capacity of Manchester? Absolutely. There's a combination of things, GK. And it certainly isn't coming out of Ineos' pocket. That's for sure. People want to try and promote this sort of thing where it's not going to be the taxpayers' money. Of course, it's going to be the taxpayers' money. This is England. That's England at the end of the day. England live off taxpayers' money. Some of it will be taxpayers' money. Probably not all of it. It'll probably be government funding, charities and things like that for the community. You know what they do? They do these charities for the community. That's what they're going to do. And probably something like that. It's definitely not going to come from Ineos' pocket. Well, certainly not a majority of it is going to come from Ineos' pocket. Probably 27% at the end of the day. Shah, especially without European football, guys, we really, really have to hope that Manchester United win tomorrow. It is imperative that Man United win. I know some people are saying, oh, you know what? If Man United lose, it will help us get rid of the Glazers and stuff like that. That's not true, guys. So, look, we just have to hope that Man United win tomorrow and get through to the next. We have to put all our eggs in this basket now. We got no choice. Can you imagine we get knocked out to Real Sociedad? How dead this season's going to be. How dead did the watch-alongs are going to be. What are we going to do in the watch-along? You know what I mean? What are we going to do? What are we going to hope for? It's going to be a nothing game every single week. You know what I mean? At least like if we remain in the Europa League, we'll be like, you know, a little bit giddy and a little bit excited because we can pick up form for the Europa League and stuff like that and play players in there, play players in that competition. It would be fun. But look, it's a very serious game tomorrow. It's one of our biggest games, you know what I mean, in a long time. It is because it's do or die, you know, at the end of the day. Good morning, Fanactivate. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Oh, it's been a minute. Salute to you, Fanactivate. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Hope you're good, brother. Hope everything is well with you, of course. Helge, what's going on, Helge? Hope you're doing well. Helge, what's going on, brother? I was also thinking it's 5 years at least to build the stadium. Jim Ratcliffe said he didn't want it to be 10 years because he might not be around that long. But it could be 2, 3, 4 years until the build starts. We haven't even got the paperwork yet, Helge. This hasn't had official approving yet. The construction hasn't been approved yet. So all this giddy stuff and that, people jumping up and down, it hasn't started yet. If this was Qatar, however, it would have started a long time ago. And probably wouldn't look like a circus. But it could be 2, 3 years until the build starts. The two different things, how long it takes to build versus when it does start. Absolutely, it could end up taking 10 years, isn't it, Helge? At the end of the day, it could do. These planning permissions came from 2018. They've just been acknowledged and they've just been pre-approved. So they've just been pre-approved. It's taken 7 years. These planning permission and the initial planning permissions have just gone through now after 7 years. I told about this kid. We put a board. It was in Rennes. Yeah, I told them about in the summer, GK. If you were here in the summer, we were talking about Douay a long time ago, brother. GM Sals from Ghana. Good morning from Ghana, Michael. I hope you're doing well, Michael. I hope you're good. Really good to see you, my friend. Hope you're good. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you, of course. Listen, where is the money coming from to build a new stadium? This is the whole thing. This is exactly what I'm saying. Look, guys, listen. You know what I said earlier in the show, right? What I said earlier in the show. I said, Ineos have money. Ineos have money. They have money, but they're going to rely on some government funding, charities, things like that, that sort of thing. Also, real estate. Real estate makes money. Hotels make money. KFC, McDonald's, Burger King, whoever you like, fast food restaurants make money. Hotels make money. You know what I mean? Hotel football of Gary Neville's hotel football. This is why he's so intrigued and interested in the project, is because he's going to get an extension on his hotel football, of course. So these things make money. These things accumulate money. So they're going to get pieces of the pie from all different angles, you know. And you know what? The reason they're putting a little tent over the stadium is so that they can organize activities inside the stadium. They've even got a little platform there for, it's like a stage, isn't it? They've even got a little stage there. What we're going to have live concerts in the middle of, we're going to Simply Red before a game or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Money's too tight to mention. Dun, 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 dun. Money's too tight to mention. That's Jim Ratcliffe's song, by the way. That is Jim Ratcliffe's song all day long. Money's too tight to mention. Simply Red. Jim Ratcliffe's favorite song. Absolutely. Helge. My worry is the same as you. Barada and Ratcliffe has all talked about the next 1 to 3 years. It's always 5 to 10 years. Very dust stuff. They all words, no action. Look, at the end of the day, what I find phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal, is on Sunday we had a protest. On Monday we had the interview. On Tuesday we got the stadium announcement. Spin, I'm spinning around, move out of my way. That's Kylie Minogue, right? At the end of the day, what is the shocking disappointment for me is that so many fans have just taken every single word like the gospel. Every single word they've taken from his mouth and treated it like facts. They're treating it like he's their own father. He's my father. He would never lie to me. He would never lie to me. Everything Jim Ratcliffe said is the gospel for them. So on Sunday, it was all death and anger and destruction. On Tuesday, it's all My Little Pony and Care Bears and love and teddy bears. That's what it is at the end of the day. There's no in between with Man United. You know what I mean? It took 3 days. It took 3 flipping days for them to change the narrative. It took 3 days for them to manipulate you. Oh, we're going to throw away success for the next 10 years because we're building a stadium. This was the plan all along. It's not about what happens on the pitch. It's about a vanity project. Stadiums don't bring success. Stadiums don't. Football teams bring success. Build a football team, things will come at the end of the day. And I'm not one for celebrating moving from Old Trafford. I don't think we should celebrate that. I think that, you know what, at the end of the day, that the Glazers let Old Trafford rot for so many years. I don't think that's worth celebrating for me with our history, our heritage, and things like that. Kenny, my worry is that having the project on a new stadium for 5 years, but can't financially compete, just like Arsenal when they were at Ant Stadium. There's going to be so many stipulations, Kenny. And you know the excuses are going to come out the window, isn't it? They're going to start making the excuses. Oh, we would like to compete, but, we got this stadium, we spent a lot of money on the stadium. So, we have to service those debts before we can build a team, I mean, it's unrealistic ambition, to be fair. Amram's doing a great job. He's working on a shoestring. He's done very well for the last 5 years. That's what it's going to be at the end of the day. Trust me. Jamie, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Morning, sir. The way I see it, we have 5 years to fix up, look sharp. Absolutely. Dizzy rascal. Then go off to the new gaff with our chest pushed out and ability to finally string 5 passes together. Trust the process. We get into the new stadium and lose 3-0 to Everton at the new stadium. And we're going to be like, what's changed? What's changed? What's changed, guys? Nothing. Oh, dear. But when is a new stadium going to be built and who is funding it? The Glazers, they still own majority of the club. Look, listen, they're taking finances from all different pots. Charities, infrastructure, real estate, hotels, restaurants, businesses, stuff like that. They're going to get all that money, lots of Skrilla, and some from the government as well as the secret stash that Ineos have hidden that they were going to buy Chelsea with for 4 billion. You remember that? When they were going to buy Chelsea for 4 billion. You remember when they were going to buy Chelsea for 4 billion? Where did that 4 billion disappear to? I hear you cry. Where did that 4 billion disappear to? I have no idea. Absolutely. Michael, let us not get carried away because of the stadium plans. Absolutely, we should get the Glazers and Ineos out. They just bought the stadium plans to make their protest unpopular. They are scammers. Michael, thank you very much, my friend. And people are falling for that. So what they've done, they basically cemented themselves into Manchester United. Well, you can't sack us. You can't get rid of us. We can't walk away. We got a stadium to build. We can't walk away. We got a stadium to build. Naivety of the highest order. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Jeez, no wonder we don't get anywhere. We would need Morehouse and Obi Martin to help. Obi Martin, yeah. Let's hope they reach the levels that we hope they can. Shah Alam fans get so giddy, like so easy. Kenny, I don't understand it. I do not understand it. Like, you know what? As soon as the plans come out, guys, you know what? Oh yeah! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! You see the stadium? Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! It's ridiculous. And to be honest with you, you know what? And when you say something about it, you're miserable. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. Stop that. We were protesting on Sunday partly because of Ineos. You know what I mean? And they, you know, and they're no. Listen, I've been a fan for 40 years. I've been to Old Trafford a number of times, hundreds of times. Right? At the end of the day, look. I'm not. Why am I not intrigued and excited by this new project and absolutely jumping up, making TikTok videos about it? You know, at the end of the day, because it doesn't excite me. Success on the football pitch. I don't care if we play at Hackney Marshes as long as we get success on the football pitch. That is all I care about at the end of the day. You're basically trying to polish a turd. That's what we're trying to do. It's mad, isn't it? Morehouse versus we would need Morehouse and Obi Martin help. Against Sociedad, Chido, Obi Martin, and Morehouse can't play. GK, they're not registered. Absolutely. Random positive thought of the morning. Think if they told the players no moaning, no change system, no downgrade. This is our manager. Those who can't fit in the system, isn't good enough, is gone. Absolutely, Helge. Absolutely. And I think Lenny Euro spoke yesterday with the media in regards to the tactics, and he said we either play the tactics or we go. He basically said that, Helge, yesterday, and I agree. He goes, we trust the tactics, or we, you know, or we go. That's it, and simple, and that is how it should be. We trust this process. I like this manager. This manager's fantastic, and you know what? We go from there, of course, guys. Now, guys, let me bring in another little bit of transfer news, of course, guys, real quickly. I don't know why I'm making myself small, but the guy I'm talking about is a name you may not know. His name is Hayden Hackney. Not Aiden Heaven. Hayden Hackney. Speaking of Hackney Marshes, he is a defensive midfielder, 20-year-old, 22-year-old from Middlesbrough in the Championship. His contract expires in 2027. He would only cost 8 million euros upwards. He's a good player. Hayden Hackney, 22. England under 21 international, 7 caps for the England under 21 ones, of course. But he can also play central midfield and attacking midfield. So a versatile player, defensive midfield, central midfield, and attacking. Hayden Hackney is the name, absolutely. And he is another name that Man United are looking for. Hayden Hackney is a cheaper option, of course. I mean, with these signings, they're more to do with the future. He's 22, so he's not really young, but he is young. He's Rasmus's age. But what I would say is that he's the type of signing that Man United are also looking for because they are the cheapest chips, bargains that we can go for as well as getting Edison and like buying Hayden Hackney as well. Players like that, of course, guys. Players like that. So Hayden Hackney is a name that we should get familiar with. Have a look. Hayden Hackney could be coming to Manchester United. Of course, guys, a half Scottish, half English player, attacking midfield, central midfield, and defensive midfield player, of course. Hayden Hackney. Yeah. Shah. I've seen a lot of people on social media talk optimistically about the new stadium, but not acknowledging why it's happening and Old Trafford getting knocked down. Because to be honest with you, Shah, look, you know what? I come from discipline. My life has been about discipline. My life has been about fight, at the end of the day, and trying to fight for everything I had because I didn't come with a silver spoon, right? My life has been like that from the beginning. So one billionaire who fakes that he is a Mancold born and bred and lived in the council estate and all that, which is the projects elsewhere. I don't fall for that rubbish because he's not, because I was from that. He is not. He's a liar, a deceiver. Now, let things boil over. What I don't think, I'm not saying that completely ignore him and reject him and hate him. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that let's wait and see. For goodness sake, calm down. It's like Ronaldo, isn't it? Calm down, calm down. Sit down, calm down, relax. Don't get so excited. Don't throw all your cards onto the table. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, we fold within minutes. 3 days it's taken us to go from one extreme to the other extreme. 3 days. I don't mind the stadium. Fine. You want to build a stadium? That's great. Man United should have the best stadium in the world. And Manchester United, we should have the best stadium in the world. Why are people acting like that's a surprise? We used to. Old Trafford hosted the semi-final of the European Championships in Euro 96. Now it wouldn't get in the top 15. Of course we need a new stadium. That's thanks to the Glazers. Thank you, Glazers, for running down Old Trafford so we move. Isn't it? Didn't they do that by purpose? Are you beginning to think that they neglected Old Trafford just so they can have this little project going on, reconstruction and that? Do you think that is the case? Do you think the reason they were just coming in with their paint and then putting a lick of paint of Old Trafford, they weren't thinking about the regeneration project? Of course they were. Helge, 15th in the league, exit out all cuts, playing shit, depth on our knees, club in the mud. One interview with a billionaire and an AI photo of a stadium, and people are like, oh, it's so hard for Jimmy. Held, my guy, I have to applaud you, mate. That's what it is, guys. You know, take a screenshot of that and post that around, because that is exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. Oh, poor Jimmy has to do all this on his own. Oh, why didn't Gary Neville in that interview ask Jimmy? Good old Jimmy. Jimmy, we were protesting since 2005. Manchester United fans are protesting since 2005. Why did you feel a need to facilitate the Glazers and save the Glazers when they were willing to sell up? Why didn't he ask that question? You know, and now everyone feels sorry for good old Jimmy, mate, born and bred. Used to live in a council estate, 1-bedroom flat. He used to eat soup. Please, sir, can I have some more, sir? It beggars belief how stupid some people are. Honest, I tell you honestly, it beggars belief. Have enthusiasm, but cautiously have your enthusiasm. Don't jump in naked. Look at me. I've exposed myself. I'm right here. Here I am. Take me. That is what it's about at the end of the day. Just full-on exposure. For goodness sake, listen, right? There's a lot of scammers over here. Do you know what? You know what I should do? I say, do you know who you should aim for? You see those people supporting Jim Ratcliffe? Ring them up. Scam them. Because they are very easily manipulated. They're manipulated like that. Click on the finger. You don't have to try hard. Don't worry. You just need to show them an AI picture or an AI voice and they'll believe you at the end of the day. I even think that if Jim Ratcliffe came out with a floating stadium in the sky, people are like, oh my God. Wow. Oh my God, Jim, you shouldn't have. Jim, you shouldn't have. Sorry, guys, but this is what it is at the end of the day. This is what it is. You know what? Calm the F down, for goodness sake. Calm the F down. People are laughing at us, for goodness sake. People got clown music playing on TikTok. Do you know what I mean? Ironically, a circus, because we got clowns in charge. You know what I mean? Shah, what are we going to do on the football side of the next 5 years? They are going to build a new stadium and not a new team at Amram. Absolutely. And Shah, what would Real Madrid, what would PSG, what would Bayern Munich, what would Barcelona do if people told them, look, Barcelona and Real Madrid have built fantastic stadiums. Barcelona is still being built, but then two of them are building fantastic stadiums. Have they hampered their performances on the pitch? Has their performance on the pitch down? Has it gone down? Absolutely not. It's gone down. Absolutely not. Still successful. We're happy to sacrifice 5 years. Let's sacrifice 5 years of football because we're building a stadium. For goodness sake. It drives me mad. Like, wake up. It's like, you know, this hand. That's what I want. You know, like the Indian movies, the Bollywood slap. That's what they do. Absolutely, for goodness sake. Like, it's crazy. It drives me absolutely mad. Do you know what I mean? It's just, honest to God, when I see it, it's just absolutely mad. And that's another, guys, by the way, that is another way to finance the stadium. What Barcelona did, the Spotify stadium, the Spotify Nou Camp. You know what I mean? So that's what it will be. Absolutely. Kenny, facts. Focus on building the team instead of building a vanity project. Exactly. This is what it was all about, Kenny. This is what it's all about. Leaving a lasting legacy of Jim Ratcliffe. Leaving a lasting legacy of Jim Ratcliffe, you know, at the end of the day. And that is what they wanted at the end of the day. Held, more spinning than a new divorced middle-aged woman trying to get fit. Yeah, we're trying to get there. Fix up, look sharp. Absolutely. We're trying to get there. More spin than Kylie Minogue. That's it. I'm spinning around. Move out of my way because I like it like this. Absolutely. Definitely. Mad. Seeing people are really willing to give up success for 5 years. Guys, listen to this one, Shah. Listen to this one. Listen to this one. Ineos want to charge. Jim Ratcliffe wants to charge non-Manchester-based fans more money for tickets than the Manchester fan. They want to charge non-Manchester-based fans more money. I'm a Londoner, by the way, guys. I'm not a Manchester-based person, right? I was born in London. I've supported Man United my whole life, by the way. Like David Beckham from Leytonstone. I'm from Leytonstone, like David Beckham. You know David Beckham, who assisted a treble for Man United, right? Oh, he doesn't matter now because it's all about the mank. It's all about the mank. It's all about the mank because obviously everyone who came, into Man United were from Manchester, right? So Matt Busby was from Manchester, right? No, he wasn't. Alex Ferguson was from Manchester, right? No, he wasn't. At the end of the day, no, what we're going to do? We're going to charge non-Manchester-based fans extra money to watch Manchester United play. That's what we're going to do. It's a disgrace. Ignorance. Bigotry. Horrible. Bilal. Yo, Sal, what's up? Destroying the Ineos state. They think they're going to quieten the protest of building a new state. They think so, Bilal, but the problem is that gladly 1958 have not fallen for it. Of course, I say this when 158 people are watching, and 1958 are not going to fall for it. You know what I mean? And I'm glad they didn't. Of course, they called it out for what it is. Absolutely great. Absolutely. Big up, Bilal, by the way. How many youngsters get registered for the Europa? Not many. We've only got Aiden Heaven, Collier. I think Ahmed counts as well. I'm not too sure. I think we only got Aiden Heaven and Collier at the moment in the youth ranks. Chido Martin didn't get picked for the squad. The rest was experienced players. Shah Alam. Yes, the spin. Some people fell for the trap again. They have, unfortunately. They have. I mean, I don't mind people falling for the spin. Do you know what I mean? But you know what? At the end of the day, don't sacrifice yourself. Don't sacrifice yourself. Alex, did you know me before Eric Ten Hag? No, you didn't, mate. So hush your mouth. Get that defensive midfielder. Get the Edison is the one. Absolutely, Edison is the one. We need to get that one, of course. Otherwise, it was going to go to someone else, of course. Hackney, bruv. Sure, absolutely. You know about Hackney, don't you? Round the corner from where I used to live. I used to live near Hackney Marshes in Leighton. Guys, at the end of the day. So Hackney, Hackney. His name is Aidan Hackney. Definitely. Hackney Marshes. Wouldn't it be funny if his first name was Hackney, his second name was Marsh? Hackney Marsh. Hackney Marsh. Absolutely. Are we interested in Anton Stack, German midfielder? Not that I know of, Lisa, and I'm not heard too much about Anton Stack at the moment. I haven't heard too much about us being interested in Bundesliga players right now, of course. But that's not to say that we won't be interested in these players coming up, of course. I'm sure Anton Stack is a midfielder that is on their radar. I'm pretty sure, of course. Helge. By the way, Sal, have you ever heard about a team winning a league in any country, in any era, saying we won this by being profitable and sustainable and through brutal cost cutting? Never, ever. No. Every single business in life, in general, I owned a record label for 25 years, right? Music videos and things like that. Until I became a video director myself, I used to direct my own music videos in the end with my brother, who's the rapper, is a musician, and other people's videos. I used to pay £4,000, which is about $6,000-7,000 upwards for each music video. Now, the reason I used to pay this amount of money for these music videos is because if you don't buy the music videos for that money, they won't get on TV because they won't be of the necessary quality to get on MTV, to get on Kiss, to get on all these famous, obviously, platforms, of course. It's all, you don't, if I decided I'm going to spend £100 on a video, that video is not going to get very far. And also, it's not only that. In music, you have to invest in pluggers and radios and stuff like that, and DJs and promoters and magazines and things. This all costs money. It's investment. Without doing that, you're not going to be successful. And that works the same with a football team. Exactly the same with a football team. Do you know what I mean? If you don't put your money where your mouth is, you won't be successful. You think Real Madrid talk about success by being sustainable? You think Bayern Munich do that? Do you think Barcelona do that? And they, Real Madrid have just got a state-of-the-art stadium built. Barcelona got their stadiums being built now. Do you think they go out there saying, oh, the biggest key is to be sustainable? Absolutely not. They'll get shut down, of course. Big up, Helge. Let us reason and not fall into this. Our club needs open heart surgery, not a stadium. Our playing body needs surgery. Stadium is second matter. Who will invest into the club when we are not performing? Michael, spot on. I can't disagree, Michael. At the end of the day, you know what I would say is that we're looking for the shiny new toy before we've actually got the batteries for that toy. Do you know what I mean? Like we're basically, got all the tools for building a house, right? And not got the actual items to build a house. We ain't got the bricks to build a house. We ain't got nothing to build a house. We just got the tools. You know what I mean? We're doing things tits upwards. Do you know what I mean? And we're basically doing things upside down. You know what I mean? This is what clarifies to me and confirms to me that this is a vanity project. A new stadium shouldn't be one of the top priorities at this moment. There's more concerning things. Absolutely. So as I said, I would much rather Man United play at Hackney Marshes and winning on the pitch than having a new stadium. It's all about success for me. I want more Champions Leagues. I want more Premier League titles. That's what I want. I don't want Man United to go 5 to 10 years without a major trophy. We've already gone 12, for goodness sake. Some of us are getting on a little bit. You know what I mean? We at the end of the day. We need to challenge. Ineos came here for profit, but people telling me they grow up and be fair on them. No, they were the ones who revived the Glazers. Honestly, Kenny, you know what it is, Kenny? Let me tell you the blatant and harsh reality of it all. They know they are wrong about Ineos. They know that they sacrificed themselves so hard for Ineos at the end of the day that they got a boner for Ineos right from the beginning, and they backed them all the way to the sun and back, and they know that they've been proven wrong so far. So any little glimpse of something that they can turn into a positivity, they're using in their advantage. To say, oh, see, Jim, poor Jim. Oh, Jim's building look at the stadium. Oh, my God, look at the stadium, even though it looks like a tent. If Liverpool built it, we'd be laughing. And look at the stadium. Look at it. It looks amazing. Absolutely pathetic. Big up, Herb. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're good. My friend, good to see you. Kenny, exactly why do they not understand that? Like they think Ineos are some owners of the club. I know. The Glazers are sitting there laughing their heads off. They're laughing their heads off. Right now, the Glazers are sitting there. Look at those dummies. Look at those dummies, dog. Look at those dummies, dog. That's what they're looking at in the moment. So sicky that Neville had the voice absolutely to the new stadium video of United's homepage. It's almost like a Truman Show. It's a borderline crazy voiceover about the stadium and then asking his mate the questions. Isn't that a little bit of a conflict of interest? And people are still falling for that crap. And that's why he didn't ask him the $1 million question. That's why he didn't ask him the $1 million question, because he knew. He knew they're best buddies. He's like, oh, Gary, don't ask me about the Glazers. Try and keep it like a bit low. Try and keep it a bit low. Don't ask me about the Glazers. I don't want to know about that. Just keep it sweet. Yeah. At the end of the day, this is what's happening. Big up, Helge. Kenny, this is why the rival fans will keep mocking us, because they get trapped so easily by the media. You think Tottenham Hotspur, Kenny? You think Expressions cares about the stadium? You know what I mean? Do you think he cares about stadium or success on the pitch? He cares about success on the pitch. He don't care where they get successful. He cares about success on the pitch. He doesn't care about a shiny new stadium that's going to be built in years and years. Let's think about that then when it happens, right? When that stadium gets built, let's think about it then. If anyone outside Manchester is allowed in it, the way they're talking at the moment, we might live in a bloody, communist Manchester by 2030. It might be communist Manchester, the way things are going at the moment. Communist Manchester. You can't go into Manchester United unless you are a Manchester citizen. So Jim talks about the Bernabeu, but it's the modernized and looked after with a very long time. It's not a new stadium. It's a very old. So absolutely. They've just modernized it and they looked after it over the years. I've been to the Bernabeu. Bernabeu, I mean, I've been a number of times to the Bernabeu, and Bernabeu was running down like it was a concrete. It's very concrete, lots of graffiti everywhere and stuff like that, you know, but they've regenerated it. They managed to do it. And if people go to the Bernabeu slap bang in the middle of Madrid. In the middle of Madrid, you know, the road just outside Madrid, there's a main road just outside the Bernabeu. There's a main road that goes all the way up. It goes all the way up to the town centre, all the way back. You know what I mean? They managed to build a new stadium. They managed to not build a new stadium, but refurbish the Bernabeu. They managed to refurbish the Bernabeu, and they didn't need to move. They managed to do it. Now, I urge you to look at the Bernabeu and look at it from a bird's eye view. Around the Bernabeu, there's all these brown buildings, right? These are old buildings. Some of them were hotels and some of them are like that. But they managed to build it up, right? And fit it into as the Bernabeu. Proper run club. But Sal, you're being so hard on Jimmy. I am, I know. Our saviour, he is doing his best. He can get against the big bad Glazers. We are so lucky to be the grace of great. We're so lucky to grace of his greatness. I know. Sorry, Helge. I'm not worthy of the great Sir Jim Ratcliffe. I'm not worthy of him. I'm not worthy of the great Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Do you know what Sir Jack Ratcliffe is probably doing now? You know what he's probably doing after the interview? He's probably sitting there on the phone to Joel Glazer. Oh, God, this is so easy. I just needed to talk about the stadium, mate. And look at it. Look at social media, mate. Look at social media. Check it now. Check it now, Joel. Check it now. Check social media. Look at them. Look at them. It's so stupid. Honest to God, that's what he's doing. You think he's not doing that? That's what he's doing, guys. Wake up and smell the bloody coffee. That's what he's doing. Absolutely. Big up, Helge. Sancho Stadium wasn't even being knocked down. They only just expanded the stadium capacity, and they're absolutely. But look, it's brand new. Everything is brand new. They changed everything. It's brand new. I've been to the old Bernabeu, and it wasn't even that bad. But it was quite old, but it wasn't that bad at the end of the day. I've seen a number of games in the Bernabeu. I've seen Man United there a couple of times. Just like the new camp was very run down and old. But look what they've done to the new camp. It's going to be phenomenal. Let's be honest, guys. Looking at the Bernabeu, right? Let's be honest, right? Let's be honest, right? I might even put a poll up. Look, you know, is the Bernabeu and the new camp, right, better than Man United stadium design? Be honest. Is it better than Man United stadium design? Remained the same, absolutely, Kenny. Yeah, they stayed there. They stayed there, and now they've done everything. They've completely changed. If you've seen inside, it's incredible. I mean, I'm lucky enough to have visited the old Bernabeu. I've been lunch at the old Bernabeu, of course. I mean, back then, I've been invited to lunch at Bernabeu. I know a few people, of course, at Real Madrid. You did some work for Real Madrid a few years ago. You know, did some work for Real Madrid. And I know how they run. I know what kind of football team they are. They run very, very well, of course. And unlike us, to be honest with you, let me just get something up. If I can find it, let me get it up. If I can find it, I'll get it up for you. I'll get it up here. See, it's a picture of the old me and the old Bernabeu, me doing work working there and stuff like that. Absolutely. Glazers and Spinios must really think fans are done. Well, some of them are goals for George because obviously they've fallen for the trick, haven't they? This is the same playbook Glazers have used for more than a decade. The damage control mode. Spot on goals for George. And unfortunately, some people have naively fallen for it. Baz, what's going on, my friend? I'll be doing well. Morning. The stadium would be okay if the team was in a good place. Time is impeccable. Absolutely, Baz. That is exactly the overriding. What's most important is the fact that what happens on the pitch. What happens on the pitch. People say £1,500 total trip for flights, hotel, tickets, etc. from Hong Kong or Australia, Norway is that faithful fans and should be punished. Only people who live close to matters mental. That's exactly what he meant by putting the Manchester back in Man United. And if they take the Manchester out of, if they take the life and soul of Man United, right? Let me tell you about Norway, Sweden, Scandinavia in general, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Ronny Johnson, Henningberg. You know, if they want to take away our heritage, which is partly the rest of Europe as well, especially Scandinavia, then you know what do we think about this football team? You know what I mean? If they're going to segregate and alienate people from supporting their football team just because they live in a different part of the world, what does that tell you about this football team? What does that tell you about Jim Ratcliffe? He's going to get flawed. He's going to get flawed. This guy is he's going to fall flat on his face. Trust me. Don't worry about it. I was surprised Jim was complaining by December we will be bankrupt. Has he forgotten the reason the Glazers are still there? Michael, that was the setup. That was an open goal for Gary Neville. That was an open goal for Gary Neville. As soon as he said that quote, he should have said, so why did you buy the club when there was a full sale available clearing the debt? Why did you do that? That is what the question should have been. Tam. That's it. If it was Piers Morgan, and I don't like Piers Morgan, but it was Piers Morgan, he would have hit him with that question straight away. So why didn't you let a full sale happen? Goals for George. The interview actually made Ratcliffe look clueless, which catchphrases that catches Ratcliffe. He's lucky he never went into the politics as he lacks the mental dexterity and the guilt. Absolutely. Goals for George. If you know about, how do you say it? Body language and stuff like that. He struggled with some of those questions. And believe me, they were dumb questions, right? You know, dumb question for a so-called billionaire. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, if someone other than Gary Neville, I don't think he would allow it. But if someone other than Gary Neville asked him the questions, he would have looked stupid. Let's say it was a neutral guy like Piers Morgan or something like that. Let's say it was Simon Jordan, someone like that. You know what I mean? And he had to be real with him. The man will be shut down easy. Michael, Ineos out and Glazers out. Let's open our eyes to the time. At the moment, it looks bleak, doesn't it? Because at the end of the day, what they got now is that they got this new project going on. They're going to build a new stadium and stuff like that. You know what I mean? This is all they care about at the end of the day. Bournemouth are 5 points behind fourth place. Shitty stadium with 10,000 capacity and their wage bill is 1 million approximately the same. Mount Casimiro absolutely held. And then he said that, oh, you know what? We can't do well because of that. At the end of the day, stadium doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Stadium does not matter at the end of the day. You know, teams could win Champions Leagues in 30,000 stadiums. Do you know what I mean? Chelsea, for example. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. Building a new stadium for WrestleMania. Kenny, it probably will be ready for WrestleMania, definitely. You know what I mean? It probably will be for WrestleMania, definitely WrestleMania. You know what I mean? They're saying that they're going to try and make it the Wembley of the North. To be honest with you, you know what I think right now? I just think that is in the future. My focus right now, is Man United tomorrow, Real Sociedad in the Europa League. That's my focus. You know what I mean? And people, you know, these manipulators are trying to tell us, 5 years without success, when we've already had 12 years without success. And we know it's not going to take 5 years to build a stadium. We know it's going to take a lot longer. Definitely. Helge, my point about last comment, focus on the fucking football. Fancy stadium doesn't look shit. Bournemouth yeah, you don't need a good stadium, Helge. Let me tell you something. Success on the pitch equates to money. Money equates to sponsorships. Sponsorships equate to stadiums. You know what I mean? So why don't we do it organically rather than trying to jump before we can walk? Why trying to run before we can walk? Because that is exactly what we are doing at the moment. We're running before we're walking. Right? Bournemouth are walking and they're going to end up running. Just like other teams that are overtaking us at the moment, right? They don't care about a 50,000 stadium, building a 50,000 stadium. Do you think Everton are going to win in that stadium? Do you think Everton are suddenly going to turn into prime Barcelona because they got a fancy new stadium? No. They probably get relegated in that stadium. Everton have never been relegated. They probably get relegated in that stadium because Goodison Park was probably the reason that they were staying up. Remember a certain Man United aggregators were telling us on X that Ineos were going to get full ownership in 2026 to get people to want Ineos, not Qatar, and some still believe it because they're believing in Jim Ratcliffe for sinister reasons. They're not believing in Sir Jim Ratcliffe because he's from Manchester, or he's because he, you know what I mean, he likes Man United and he supports Man United. They didn't want Qatar in charge because we all know why. And that is the overriding fact. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. Bigots supporting bigots at the end of the day. I bet Bernabeu doesn't have a jacuzzi from the 2000s. we still got the same kettle, SLD. We still got the same kettle, mate. You know what I mean? We still got the same bloody, what is it? Shampoo. Yeah. We're still using the same tea bags, SLD. We use the tea bags more than once, thousands of times. You can get enough tea out of that. I have a bachelor's degree in psychology, body language, and a non-verbal communication. If you look at the interview, Jim looks around the room and avoids eye contact. It means deception and being also held. That as well. He done that a lot in the interview. He definitely done that a lot. He's a deceiver to some. Just imagine Bournemouth in the Champions League, Europa League with 10,000 capacity. It's happened before. Fulham have done it a few times. Ipswich have done it a few times. Ipswich are more successful than Arsenal in Europe. Absolutely. Roy Michael, morning, Sal, and everyone. I've got to agree with you. Fix Old Trafford, build another tier roof. It's not rocket science. If we build another new stadium, we lose the Old Trafford heritage. God bless. I mean, some people think that's okay. I know that some people have never been to Old Trafford and they don't understand the legacy of Old Trafford and they're celebrating building a new stadium. But, you know, I don't agree with the celebrating what's going on at the moment in regards to moving a new stadium, not forgetting the reason we're moving to the new stadium. Now, this also brings, I start building the bricks and putting the pieces of the puzzle together. And I start thinking, did Ineos purposely, did the Glazers purposely not refurbish Old Trafford because they knew about the regeneration project? Well, this has been going on since 2018. So they probably felt to themselves, we got this regeneration project that can make us a load of money. Should we really care about Old Trafford when we're going to move away from Old Trafford? Even though it's years away, they've actually sacrificed the well-being of the stadium and people in the stadium for this project that is going to be happening in many, many years' time. They've exposed themselves for you know what I mean? They've exposed themselves. And I personally believe if you're an Ineos sympathizer, if you believe in Ineos are so hard done by and you think, poor Jimmy, I actually think that you're also a Glazer sympathizer as well. I'll put you in the same category. I really do. Held. To compare his behavior and mannerism is similar to a rebel you've been questioned by parents about where have you been last night, knows he's lying and had the confidence in acknowledges. Absolutely. That's what it is, Held. And I really hoped that, you know what, the questionnaire, the interview would be conducted by someone who didn't have a conflict of interest going on. Do you know what I mean? So I would have liked it to be someone a little bit more neutral. Then again, I look at it and he probably wouldn't have done the interview, would he? He probably wouldn't have done the interview, but he needed that interview, didn't he? At the same time, it's a double-edged sword. He needed that interview because he saw the protests. And when I look at that interview and I observe that interview, I see that he cannot take criticism very well. He hates criticism. He's weak-skinned. He hates criticism. And you know what? Carry on attacking him. Carry on singing the songs. Carry on doing it. Because that is what it's all about at the end of the day. He thinks he's manipulated you. He thinks he's got you by the cojones. He thinks he's got you. Don't fall for it. That's what I would say. Don't fall for that crap. He's a manipulator. He's a billionaire. He's a cheater. He's a liar. He's going to do that. You know what I mean? He's going to manipulate you. Story, what's going on, my friend? I'll be doing well. Stadium does not matter for me neither. And to go into the future without a new stadium is... stadium does matter for me. And to go into the future, a new stadium is a big handicap. It generates a lot of income that help. But, of course, you must do the right transfers and recruitment. Story. You're right? We do need a new stadium now. And the reason, it's not so much that we need a new stadium or we don't need a new stadium. It's the reason that we got a new stadium. We need a new stadium. The reason we need a new stadium is because we've let Old Trafford decay. We've let Old Trafford being run down to the ground. That's the reason we need a new stadium. And that's thanks to the Glazers. Now, the Glazers knew about this regeneration project. That's why they haven't regenerated Old Trafford, right? So they've let Old Trafford run down to the dirt, right? And Old Trafford is a historical landmark for Manchester United fans, right? We could have refurbished Old Trafford, kept Old Trafford up to date, built Old Trafford up as we went along, like Real Madrid, and stayed at Old Trafford. But because of the Glazers, we have to move. We could have done all this project at Old Trafford. Do you know what I mean? We could have done it at Old Trafford. It's a manipulation. That's the thing. The lies. That's the thing. This is what it was all about. It's about the new stadium. But I would much rather have a successful football team than worry about a new stadium right now. Because you know as well as I do, story, that they're not going to concentrate on the football team. They're not going to go out and spend money on a football team. And then since when has anyone been had sustained success with a stadium only? As Tottenham, they got the best stadium in Europe, in my opinion. One of them, anyway, second to Real Madrid or something like that. And that's the whole thing. Why did you let Old Trafford burn down to the ground? And then you say, well, it was the Glazers. But who's facilitated the Glazers? Who slept with the Glazers? Who gave the Glazers a life support machine? A rope? Ineos. You're also spotting about a coughing that to give himself to think of a lie. Absolutely. Responses don't need a cough breaks. Lies do. So you're spot on there. There were so many deception indicators. He's a snake. Hell, he's a snake. And only stupid people fall for it. I'm sorry, but they do. You can have, look, I don't disagree with the stadium. We need a stadium. Okay, we need a stadium. We're getting a stadium. But if that affects the football team, I don't think it's priority. But at the end of the day, if we can do both, fantastic. Right? Which I don't think we're going to do, but let's see. Also, you know, what I would say is that in regards to the interview itself, there was a lot of lies there. So when you see lies, small lies multiply. Small lies. If you could tell a small lie over and over again, imagine what you're lying about behind the scenes. Imagine what you're lying about to the fans and things like that. Sure. I see some Arsenal first fans wish they never left their old stadium, though that would happen to us if we did. Yeah, has the Emirates brought success to Arsenal? How many Premier League trophies has Arsenal won? How many Champions League trophies has Arsenal won? How many La Ligas has Atletico Madrid won? How many Champions Leagues has Atletico Madrid won? It doesn't guarantee success. It doesn't guarantee success. In fact, it has the opposite. Arsenal more successful at Highbury. You know, Arsenal, Tottenham have won nothing so far. Yeah, it generates money, but we also have to pay a lot of money back. We also have to spend a lot of money. It's 6 billion we're spending, by the way. We needed the interviewer to be a shark smelling blood and not a pussycat, a brown-mouthed mate of 100%. And that was confirmed, isn't it? They're so blatantly in your face with the voiceover. It's unreal. It's unreal that he actually had the voiceover. Gary Neville actually done the voiceover. It was actually unreal. Absolutely. We needed John Cena to pounce, but got Susan Boyle. Goodness me. Yeah, we got Susan Boyle. We got Doink the Clown, Helge. That's who we got. We got Doink the Clown. Oh, dear. Isn't it? Sure, we sacked 450 people, charity, cut steward, cuts, etc. Gary Neville didn't ask Sir Jim Ratcliffe about he's still paying 30-40 million in debt interest. Why do you get into better place? Yeah, because he's got interest. It's conflict of interest. It's a conflict of interest. He's got his own interests in the stadium, of course. Morning, Jarvis. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, bro. Good to see you, of course. Absolutely. Big up, Jarvis. Of course. Big up yourself. Listen. If Jim Ratcliffe is no more before the construction of the new stadium, do you think that the project will still go through with the Glazers being forced to sell? Look, that's a good point, Neeson. Guys, I don't mean this in any horrible or nasty way, but let's say Jim Ratcliffe passes away. What happens to what happens? That's a good point. Something to think about. So Jim once said that Dalot is good, if I'm correct. I mean, anyone who thinks Dalot is good, I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, fair play to Dalot, but he's not a Man United level player. Absolutely not. Big up, Helge. Big up, everyone. Guys, I almost have forgotten the Doink the Clown existed. He's dead now, Kenny. He's dead now. God rest his soul. He's not around anymore, Doink the Clown. Big up, Sal. It would seem that the club doesn't want to spend significant amount according to Boro, which means I don't win the Europa League. We're screwed, and Amram might not get the backing he needed. Then we're going to be round in the circle, isn't it, LT? Round and round we go in a circle. That's what's going to happen. We'll probably have to sell a couple of our main guys. On behalf of all of us, you're not allowed to log off this morning without doing another Ratcliffe impersonation. That is absolutely mint. I need a bit of finger in my throat. Oh, well, I don't appreciate your question, Sal. Sal, listen, I don't appreciate your question. Why are you asking me about the Glazers? Well. I told you I didn't want to be asked about the Glazers. I told you. Like, I'm going to do the interview. Listen, Jim. Listen, Jim. Look, you know what? The fans have been protesting. How do I do a Gary Neville? How do I do a Gary Neville at this moment in time? The fans have been protesting at this moment in time since 2005 at this moment in time. And you facilitated the Glazers and you went to bed with the Glazers. And you know what? We could have had a full sale. What do you make of that? Well, I don't appreciate your question, Gary. Gary, we had an agreement before this interview that I would not be asked questions of that nature. You're trying to manipulate me, Gary. I don't appreciate it. Oh, listen, I've had enough of this interview. I'm out of here. I'm going to go on Stretford Post. Maybe you might ask me some good questions. If Stretford Post came on this, right, at this moment in time, if Stretford Post came on this, right, channel, it'd be not a Stretford Post. I am Stretford Post. If Jim Ratcliffe came on this channel, it would be murder. Murder was the case that they gave me. It would be at the end of the day. Talking about Doink the Clown, goodness me, murder was the case that they gave me. How long would a new stadium take? Estimate, please. 10 years, Beef Bully. Just say 10 years, Beef Bully. 10 years. Don't jump before you can. Don't jump before you can hop. Don't jump before you can hop. Absolutely. It's going to be big up Helge, big up Kenny, big up everyone, of course, who joined me today. Big up Helge, legends, of course. Big up Baz, of course, my friend Baz. I heard that the new stadium would be leveraged against the Glazers shares, giving Ineos and our outside investors main leadership. I mean, I heard a lot of things, Baz. You know what I mean? So, how long will the new stadium? Yeah, I think I read that one. Yeah, absolutely. Shah, interested that sacked Jose in 2018. 3 years later, one Malay Oli was sacked in November 2003. And this went in hard 2024 cycle gets sorted. Oh, the conspiracy theorist Shah. I wouldn't be surprised, brother. I wouldn't be surprised. We need to back and Sal. You're funny coming out with one-liners. Brilliant. You should be on stage. Yeah, I try my best. Absolutely, I try my best. But I'm not good at writing material. I just speak. And whatever does, it does. It gets me in trouble sometimes, by the way. Absolutely. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. Roy Michael, thank you, my friend. Guys, don't forget to join me soon. I have the match preview later on. We'll be dropping at 6 p.m. today, I believe. So watch the match preview. Thank you, Shah. You're absolute legend. Thank you, Baz, as well. Absolute legends. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new. And please don't forget to smash a like on the video, guys. I'm out. And guys, listen, leading up to the game, that's the most important thing, of course. Have a great day. And guys, don't forget to smash a like on the way out. And please don't forget to subscribe if you're new. We're nearly on 9,000, guys. Only a few hundred away from 9,000. Let's get to 9,000. And then we can concentrate on 10,000. And we go from there, guys. Thank you so much at the end of the day. Guys, have a great day. Peace. See you later.